Hi, so welcome to this another wonderful episode of CAT Question of the Day initiative by iQUANTA. I am Kamal Lohia, and today we are going to solve this question based on mean, median and mode. I'm sure all of you have already done it. और अगर नहीं solve किया है तो still you have time. I'm getting aside. Please solve this question on your own once again and see can there be an alternate or better approach what you have already done. Let's see. So your time starts now. Okay, let's come back. So सबसे पहली जो requirement है, the expectation from all of you is that the prerequisite to answer this question is that you must know the meaning of these three terms. What is the meaning of mean, median and mode, isn't it? So that is the very first requirement. अगर आपको इन तीनों का meaning नहीं मालूम है, then certainly you cannot answer this question, right? Because that has not been defined in this question, because it is expected of you that you must be aware of them. By the way, these terms you are introduced with in your schools, right? Up to 10th class or up to 10th class only, you are familiar with these terms. I think classes 7th, 8th, 9th, it starts, right? So let's recall them. What is the meaning of mean? So mean is simply the average, right? Mean is nothing but average, or basically simple average, or arithmetic average also we can say mathematically. और कैसे निकालते हैं average? Average is simply sum of all the terms divided by number of terms, right? Sum of all the terms divided by number of terms. Okay, so that is the meaning of mean. Now what is this median? Median क्या होता है? Yes, you are right. Median is the central term or the middle term. If number of terms are odd, or it can be if number of terms are even, in that case we can determine this median by calculating the average, the simple average or mean of the middle two terms, right? So is there any other constraint? Yes, one constraint is there. So central term, yeah, middle term, it is middle term. So when all the terms are arranged in order, order means या तो increasing order या decreasing order, या तो बढ़ते क्रम में लगाएं या घटते क्रम में लगाएं, right? So when you arrange all the terms in order, in that case the middle term is known as median. So middle term can be uniquely determined if there are odd number of terms, right? तो middle term central में आएगी, उससे पहले उससे बाद में equal number of terms होंगी. But अगर number of terms even है तो I have already mentioned that. So we need to calculate the mean of the middle two terms, that will give you median. I hope it is very clear. That is the meaning of median. Now what is mode? Mode क्या होता है? Mode is the most frequent term, the term which has occurred most number of times. So most occurred term or most frequent term, most occurred term. Okay, now what is the question? It says the mean, median and mode of 7 numbers. Okay, so number of terms are 7. It clearly means there is a middle term, right? There is going to be middle term, and mean कैसे निकालना है, that we already talked about. So mean, median and mode of 7 numbers. Now numbers are mentioned here: 40, x, 100, 60, 50, 200, 90 are all equal to x. Okay, so basically x is one of these 7 terms. If you see properly, the terms are not arranged in order, as I talked about while talking about median, right? So I talked about this कि जब हम median की बात कर रहे हैं, the middle term. So this middle term is decided when all the terms are arranged in order, either increasing or decreasing, that doesn't matter. Okay, so let's first arrange these terms, right? So for these 7 numbers, the middle term is going to be x, mean is also going to be x, and mode is also x. Let's first write the terms in order. After that we shall talk. So I don't know about x, but others can be arranged, right? So 40 is the smallest among the known values. After 40 I have 50. After 50 I also have 60 here, and after that I guess 190 is there, 90, and what else, then I guess 100 only, and then this 200, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, fine, and there is one term x which is unknown to us, right? Now अभी x कहाँ पे हो सकता है? I don't know x. X could be before 40, between 40 and 50, between 50, 60, between 60, 90, between 90, 100, between 100 to 100, or maybe more than 200, right? Right now, these are the possible positions for the number x, right? But what is given to us? That this all mean, median, mode, all these 3 values for these 7 numbers is equal. They are all equal and they are equal to x. यानी कि the central term, this median is also going to be x, है ना? So that means x should be exactly in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So between 3 and 4. So here should be the position of x. What do you say? Yes or no? Certainly, right? अच्छा, अब एक बात मुझे बताओ, will it be more than 60 and less than 90, or it has to be equal to one of these two? What do you say? Right now you may think that it can be anything between 60 and 90 inclusive of boundary values, right? So that's that comes to be the first thing in mind. But listen carefully. If you see this part, that mode is also x, and mode का मतलब क्या था? Which is the most occurred term. That means it cannot be any other number between 60 and 90. क्योंकि अगर ऐसा होगा, in that case mode तो कोई भी term नहीं बनेगी, because every term is appearing exactly once. There has not been any term in these numbers so far which is visible to be repeated, right? कोई भी term repeat नहीं हो रही है. That means x should be a term which is coming repeatedly, right? एक से ज्यादा बार आनी चाहिए, तभी तो x will become mode ना, right? Otherwise x mode कैसे होता? That means x has to be either 60 or 90. There are only two possibilities. This x has to be either 60 or 90. I hope it is clear. So there can't be more values. It has to be 60 or 90. So basically we have checked the median part. So median means the central term. So the middle term is going to be x. So x 60 or 90 के बीच में inclusive of the values होना था कहीं ना कहीं. But because it is mode also, it means ये 60 और 90 के बीच में नहीं है. It has to be either 60 or 90 only, so that it can be the mode of these 7 terms. Fine. Now coming to this mean part. Mean का मतलब क्या था? Average, right? And we have understood how to find sum of all the terms divided by number of the terms. Okay, so we can easily find sum of all remaining terms, isn't it? Let me write. So अगर मैं सभी terms का sum लिखता हूँ, तो sum of all these terms is going to be how much? So sum is going to be sum of all these numbers plus x. So 40 plus 60 makes it 100. Fine. So 150, 150, 150 and 90 is 240, 240 and 100 is 340, 340 and 200 is 540. So 540 plus x. Is that okay? It is sum is actually 540 plus x. Now let's check. अगर x की value 60 होती, in that case sum should have been, basically sum would be nothing but that mean into number of terms 7, because that is the meaning of sum na, average. Remember we talked about this. Average का मतलब क्या है? Average is sum divided by number of terms, which means sum is nothing but number of terms into average, and average or mean is basically x only, and x we have just seen it is going to be 60 or 90, and number of terms we know it is 7. That means the sum should be obtained by multiplying these numbers with 7, या तो 60 into 7 या 90 into 7. Okay, so sum should have been 60 into 7, that is 420, or 90 into 7, that is 630, isn't it? So sum is going to be either of these two values. But we can see here, we have just added these numbers here. So it is already more than 540, right? X cannot be negative number. By the way, some of you can think like that कि x negative नहीं हो सकता क्या sir? No, नहीं हो सकता. Why? Because we have already seen that x is going to be between 60 and 90 inclusive of boundary values, and we have zeroed down to that x is going to be either 60 or 90 only. Negative का तो सवाल ही नहीं उठता है. That means this sum is certainly going to be more than 540. So this 420 can be straightforwardly negated, and that means sum is certainly going to be 630, which means x is going to be certainly 90, isn't it? Let's verify. So if I put x to be 90, is my sum coming out to be 630? Let's see. So if I put x as 90 here, x as 90, so my sum should have been 630. Let's see if you add them, what do you get? Yes, it is 630. It confirms, right? It confirms. So point was that we could have made longer equations, we could have solved it, but how? By using all these three conditions, very easily we negated all the things, and nothing, right? Nothing, there was no solving point actually other than addition of all the numbers, isn't it? So let me recap fast. So what we did, first we understood what is the meaning of these three terms. Fine. So mean was the average, sum divided by number of terms. Median was nothing but middle term if number of terms are odd. Otherwise, if it is even, in that case the average or mean of the middle two terms. By the way, in this case 7 numbers were there, so we had a middle term, and mode was the term which is occurring most repeatedly, सबसे ज़्यादा बार आने वाली term. So other than this x, all the remaining 6 numbers are different. So अगर x को mode होना है, so x can't be a different number from them 6. So x has to be either of the two other middle numbers, right? So either going to be 60 or 90. That was our first deduction, right? X was median, so x is in the middle for sure. And because x is mode also, so x has to be either 60 or 90. और हमने देखा कि सम का मतलब क्या था, दैट एवरेज इनटू नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स तो 7 ही है। तो अगर मेरा एवरेज, क्योंकि मीन भी वही है ना, मीन मीडियन मोड इज एवरीथिंग इज x, तो x इज गोइंग टू बी 60 और 70। अगर एवरेज 60 है तो सम शुड हैव बीन 420, but it is violated because it is already more than 540. So अगर sum x average 90 है तो sum should have been 630, which satisfies. That's it. Thank you.